Worked. Presented by Prize Picks. Get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 and use the promo code WELCOME. Welcome to Light Years. Andy Lou, part 2 of the mailbag. You guys came with some good questions for us. Also, we're recording this before Game 4. Can I get a Game 4 prediction?
Feels like OKC is going to win by like 6 or 7. They've shown every step of the way that they're going to win the big game every single time this season, postseason. So I feel like I got to pick the Thunder. But of course, I'm rooting for the Pacers. Love to see the Pacers win.
Pacers winning tonight. It's over. I played my Miles Turner play. It's going to be the night. They're going up 3-1.
It would be amazing. It reminds me, remember when the Warriors went down 2-1 against the Grizz and then went down 2-1 again against the Cavs, and then they won in 6 both times? Kind of feels like that a little bit, but they did it against the Nuggets. They were down 2-1, showed up big. So I just like watching the Pacers, man. Maybe can we get 7 games?
The Pacers are just a better team than those teams you listed. So
they're better than the Nuggets. They're better than the Cavs. They're better than the Grizz. Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
I think
we'll see.
The Nuggets were down to like 3 functioning players at the end. Like obviously Jokic is the best player of all, but we'll see. I think it's a fun series. I think this is going 6 minimum.
Yeah,
and I'm pretty happy with that. Cool. Let's get to the first question here. It's a good one here. From our guy MP3 Coog. What players that are known to be available would you consider trading Jimmy or Draymond for? Giannis is an obvious yes. Yes, we all agree. We're willing to break up the core 3 for Giannis. But are there others? I think it's a good question because to date, we have not really explored the idea of trading one of these 3 players. And he kind of nails why. I don't know that there's anyone really available that's worth it, other than if Giannis comes available, in which case, obviously, it's worth it, Are there players of a certain caliber that you're willing to break these 3 up that you think are going to be available this offseason?
The only one that pops up in my head that's obvious, and it looks like he's about to be traded here in like 2 days. Maybe he'll get traded during a game. Maybe tonight he gets traded during halftime of Game 4. Maybe that'll happen. Is Kevin Durant. That's the obvious one. It's obvious the Warriors wanted him, and the Warriors thought they were going to get him. I saw a clip of Draymond getting told by Lacob that trade was going to go down. So that's the one where I do Jimmy Butler. I would trade Jimmy Butler in a heartbeat for him. But you're right. There's no option out there unless you're breaking Jimmy Butler up into like multiple pieces, right? Like you can I don't know if teams want that though. Like what team wants Jimmy Butler? Real wants to give up real players for Jimmy Butler. That's the issue.
I also forget the Jimmy fact. I don't know that the Warriors want to break him up for multiple players because they need impact players, not like a collection of role players again. So to me, because then you're just back to what you were with like Wiggins and Melton, the 4 games Melton played, and like, maybe it's better. I don't know that it's worth it. Look, if KD is available, I would do either Jimmy or Draymond. And I don't want to trade Draymond. I have a sense of loyalty towards him, but like KD is a caliber of player where I'd be willing to be like, you know what? I get it. And then other than that, to your point, like if Karl Anthony Towns is available, no, not really interested. Yeah. I'm trying to run through guys who are in that like max caliber who might be moved this offseason. And it's like, Lauri Markkanen's a guy who he just makes too much money for you to move other guys for him.
That's the problem.
And I'm not, but I'm not really interested in trading Draymond for Lauri, I think.
I would
Jimmy
do that.
For Lauri.
But how can you trade Draymond for that? Like, it doesn't work, right? You just said it. Like, how does that even work? How does the money work?
in
You can't do it.
that construct, it's like Moody, Buddy, Draymond, and now you're matching salaries. But if you go that route, like, did you really get that much better? Like, you certainly are a little more watchable on offense, having a guy who can shoot like that next to Steph. But like, did you actually improve? You probably gave it away as much on defense. Like, you want Lowry next to Draymond and Jimmy, not without them, right? So,
I mean, Indiana would never do this, but like, they're gonna re-sign Miles Turner. But like, that's like a decent. Like, I think Draymond is the one where it's like you got to think about, because he's only making 25-ish mil, and that's like a tradable-ish contract. The problem is always the problem with Draymond is like, you're not really not going to get enough value back for him because Draymond is super valuable to Steph. And the other teams are looking at Draymond and saying, like, he's really actually not that valuable to us. Like, there's only how many teams?
Okay, but like, let's say you're
problem.
thinking of it. I think you're thinking of it the wrong way. What if it's Draymond to a third team and forget about, and then you're getting something back? Because I agree with you. The only teams that would want Draymond are teams who have aspirations to win right now. You're not signing Draymond if you're in a rebuild. You know, you're signing Draymond because you think he can take your defense to the next level, and that's going to get you from the second round to like the finals or something, right?
Well, okay, so even if it's a 13 trade, the question remains, what are you getting back? It doesn't matter how it could be a 10-team trade.
Right.
The question is like, what can you get back? So it's like, I guess this part where we agree, it's like, I don't know what you could actually get back for Draymond. So it's like, you got to keep him. You got to keep him. And so like, this question is hard because it's like, okay, maybe you trade Jimmy, but I mean, you've been on the Jimmy train. Like, I'm all in on the Jimmy train because you're not finding any, like, Jimmy, and I guess for Lowry, like, I guess the contracts kind of match up there, but Jimmy's like 10 times better for this team. Like, way, 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 way better for this team. So the options are pretty small, right? Like, there really isn't that much.
Like, yeah, because there's not a lot of $50 million players. And then the ones that might be moved, like, they're not like it's like Karl Anthony Towns, you know? It's like, good player, don't get me wrong, would help the offense. I don't think it really makes them that much better if you have to give up one of these defensive pieces. I guess Devin Booker, but I'm not convinced they're going to trade him. But he's someone I would break this up for, you know?
Like Jimmy in theory for like a Devin Booker.
Yeah, or even Draymond and pieces, you know. So, but I don't think he's getting moved. I think Phoenix is going to get moved KD and like try to convince Devin to stick it out, you know.
Yeah, so we go back to it too. Like, the Warriors aren't gonna, like, if Devin Booker's really on the market, then you know the Spurs are gonna give a bunch of stuff for Devin Booker, right? Like,
there's teams that can do better, than the Warriors. Like Trae Young, like no. It's like there's a limited number. So I think it's a good question. And I think when I do this stuff, it's like, if one of those like top 10, 11 guys comes available, then we talk about it. And obviously Giannis is top of that list, but feels unlikely. Feels very unlikely.
Big three, baby. Steph, Jimmy, Draymond. They're not going anywhere, man. Like, that is the one thing coming into this offseason. I think everybody else on the table, I think we all think that, but like, those three guys are coming back.
Yeah, it seems like, I guess, but like, it's no, probably not. No chance they're going different direction. All right. Raphael has a question here. Can you see any of the young guys taking a significant leap next year? If so, which one, and what does it look like realistically? And how much of a difference would it make to the team's overall? So this is a fun question. So obviously Quentin Post's going to come back next year as Jokic, going to really change the offense.
He was on my list. I thought about him pretty hard as like the hipster answer to this, but who do you think?
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Pajemski, because I think he had a phenomenal second half to the season. Kind of disappointing in the playoffs, getting shrimp food poison. Don't eat seafood in Houston, brother. And forgetting how to shoot.
He was hurt.
Yeah, I mean, I will say I don't love 2 surgeries in the offseason already. Like that actually really concerns me. But then again, they always I don't know. Well, it does explain how he went from shooting 40% on volume for 4 months to like not being able to hit the side of the rim. both for him and Moody, to be honest. Like, I know Moody was slumping, but like, he's a better shooter than that,
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think. Okay, now the more interesting thing is, what does it realistically look like? I think he just looks like a more evolved version of what we saw in the second half. So I'm not saying he's going to become a 20-point per game scorer. I'm not saying he's going to become a lockdown defender. I think he's going to become I think he was a good defender for most of last year, to be honest. And I think that's only going to improve. He's a smart player. He's a physical player. Is he going to become Caruso? No, but he's going to be better defensively. I think what's really going to change for him is more confidence in that shot. And let's see a full year. Let's see a full year of shooting 40% on 6 to 7 threes a game. Let's see the decision-making be a little more consistent. Let's see you have a average 15 to 16 points per game, 5 assists, 5-6 rebounds, kind of that type of third, fourth option production. And I think they're going to need it because Jimmy's not going to go 25 points per game all regular season. They're going to need multiple guys whether it's external guys or internal guys to give you more consistent offense.
We have the same answer. It's the easy. It's because he is by far the best option, by far. I'm not going to repeat everything you said. The one point I really like is he shot 5 threes a game last season. And it's a lot, and shot it on decent volume after not shooting it well for the first couple months. He ended up at 37%. Like that's a strong, good percentage. I'd imagine next season he also put together like a mid-range package-ish that he was starting to do in the last month or so, which was cool to see. They need him to play the Jordan Poole role of 2022. They need him to be. He's not going to be the same level of score,
he's not as explosive.
Electricity, yeah. They do need him to. They don't need him to be that level because Jimmy's going to be like playing off of Jimmy is better than playing off of like Otto Porter and Wiggins and Bielitsa, right? Like so, Podz is going to have a somewhat of an easier time. He's also 20. He's going to be 22 years old next season. That's the other thing too. So I think he's an easy choice. He's going to pump up the volume on the way that he shoots. Also, the other thing I think too that's going to get improvement is he's sneaky, like he's not like a great read and react player, and that only is going to get better the more he's going to play in this system, and that's really going to help the more he plays with Steph, Draymond, Jimmy, and then he's going to get a larger role with this team as an actual scorer. I think we saw a lot of that actual scoring. Now, about the injuries, I think it's actually a good thing because this injuries doesn't seem serious, and it explains why he was terrible in the posing. Like to me, it's like
I'd rather point to the injury than be like, oh no.
That's what I thought. I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, like not cool that you have a wrist injury and an ab injury, but it makes sense. Like it makes sense why you couldn't shoot. Now it all like okay, I'm happy. Like I'm happy.
It's rational. You have a rational reason. I also pulled this up. These are his stats from the Jimmy Butler trade on. Okay. 30 minutes a game, 41.7% on 6 threes a game. Like that's a real sample of shooting.
Yeah.
15 points per game. And obviously a lot of that was leveraged by the fact he got more comfortable with the step back three. 6 rebounds, 3.5 assists. Like if he does this for a full year, amazing. He did have great chemistry with Jimmy. Like he's best when playing off of guys. So yeah, why not? Yeah. Why not Brandon Pajemski?
He's not going anywhere too. Like I think because so much of next season is going to be, hey, Podz, we're going to need you to fulfill like that scoring role off the bench. They just can't. You're not going to find a guy like that unless I guess they trade for like Jordan Clarkson or whatever. But like I just think they're more comfortable just letting him just like grow into that player. So that's. I wasn't gonna pick anyone else, man. Maybe Quinn Post.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun to do the whole exercise, but guys, cash in on basketball playoffs with Prize Picks. Don't miss your chance to add your favorite players from your court to your Prize Picks lineup. Whether it's points, rebounds, assists, take your picks on more or less for your shot to win up to 2,000x your cash. As I noted, we're going with the Miles Turner over tonight. When it hits, I expect you to text me saying, you did it again, brother. You did it again. I'm expecting that in those exact words. Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your sports takes into real money all season long on Prize Picks. The app is easy to use. To create a lineup, all you have to do is pick more or less on a few player stats for your shot to win. Download the app today. Use the code LIGHTYEARS to get $50 instantly. Play your first $5. That's code LIGHTYEARS. Get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game.
Podcast, we are brought to you by PXG. US Open happening right now, this weekend. Can't wait. Got like golfing mood. Weather's nice, like 75 degrees out there, which means the time has come for new golf clubs. And that means one thing: heading over to my local PXG store for a fitting. They make the best golf clubs. Whipping out my new putter. I think next week is when I'm playing. Fastest way to improve your performance on the golf course is a PXG fitting. PXG fitters are highly trained, incredibly experienced, and have a deep understanding of how to optimize your clubs to get the most out of your swing. PXG fittings are educational and fun. They pretty much fixed my grip that I had on the putter. My driving is pretty poor. And they were just kind of gave me an ad hoc lesson when I did it. They've also got simulators there. You can go hang out. It's awesome, man. Get a great round of clubs. For your next round, schedule your fitting today. And for the limited time, you could save up to 20% on your entire order. Head over at pxg.com/lightyears. That's pxg.com/lightyears to save up to 20% on your entire order. pxg.com/lightyears. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
All right. Our guy, The Last Dance, comes with this take. I liked Sam's take last pod about if Kuminga stays, getting a stretch 5 that can anchor the defense and allow Draymond to come off the bench could work. Yes, everyone would like that. What are other names besides Brook Lopez that are realistically attainable that can make Kuminga starting for Draymond work? The obvious one, and I don't know if he's realistically attainable anymore, is Miles Turner, because he's good enough defensively and he's definitely a good enough shooter to space the floor that you can do a Miles Turner, Jimmy, and Kuminga front three and be good enough on defense and offense. Did anyone come to mind for you?
I have a couple names. They're not going to be pretty, dude. I think Brook Lopez is one of the best options, but I have a couple names that are like vet names. Number one is one that Warriors fans are gonna love. It's Vucevic. Like, I think that's a player that, like, he's not gonna close games. He's not pretty. I don't even know if Steve Kerr's gonna like him. But just in the term of absorbing minutes for an 82-game season and getting some offense, some juice on this team, I think that stuff is still necessary. I think what really bugs me in terms of, like, hey, what could the Warriors do to win a championship? I want the Warriors to make it through a season where Steph and Jimmy don't have to kill themselves and play 70 games and have to do more than I think they are going to need to do to make a deep postseason run. It's not my first option. It's not my second. It's probably not my third. But I think Vucevic is someone that can probably play 25, 30 minutes a game in the regular season. The only problem here, Sam, is like he's cost a lot of money, and matching salary just requires you to give up players that are probably good. And so that's probably a move that they should have done before. So that's a name that I got. Did I hear another name that did I hear you mention John Collins? Like, did I hear that? Like, that's another. It's another
free agency. It's trade season. That means it's John Collins season.
I like that one. I don't mind. Okay. I don't mind that one because I think there's more defensive upside. Like, Vooch is actually really good on offense, terrible on defense. I do think someone like John Collins is like, there is theoretical upside defensively where you can take more out of him. But again, he's a perfect Warriors player. What is he, like 6'8", 6'9"? He's definitely not 7 feet. You know, he's small. He's a power forward, right? So he's like, kind of not.
He's another in the realm of like Bobby Portis, Naz Reid, Obi Toppin, where they play the 5, but they're like traditional 4 men. He might even be smaller than a couple of those guys. So.
It is also kind of expensive, right? It's like $25 million or something like that. So it's just like another.
He does have a lot of offensive talent, though. To your point, like you can not love him as a player, but you got to at least admit the dude can put the ball in the basket.
The other option another guy I thought about is like, this is another name, but he's cheaper, Sam, like Wendell Carter Jr. It's only $11 million. I
Can
don't
he
really
really
know.
shoot it,
I don't really
though?
know if he can shoot. I was just gonna say, I don't really know if he can shoot. He's kind of a little bit of fake shooting, but I do think this team kind of needs at least somebody that will shoot the ball. He's over 30% on threes for his career.
That's like part of the reason I'm so obsessed with Naz Reid, because he's going to get the ball up and it's going to go in more often than not, So two things I like. Someone who will shoot the ball and someone who will make the shots that they take. So
does Minnesota need Naz Reid if Kevin Durant's on the team, So like maybe not. Maybe they can't afford him. Maybe that's something the Warriors can take advantage of.
I will say, if they end up with like a Naz Reid, which would be a dream outcome for me, that's more the type of player you need to make Draymond and Jimmy work than Kuminga, because Naz is not a great defender, right? But I think it can work if you have Draymond and Jimmy next to him. I think Naz and Kuminga, it's a lot of guys who are not the most aware defender, It's like, I really do think you can get away with one guy like that next to Draymond and Jimmy. Like, you're talking about all-time defensive IQ. They can definitely help if you get a guy who's a willing defender, but maybe not the best defender, Couple names we haven't talked about. These are not great options, but these are on the cheap. Chris Boucher, Warrior legend.
Yep. Warrior great.
He's a free agent. Larry Nance.
I like Larry Nance. Larry Nance is good.
He's been a little banged up recently. I don't know.
Yep.
I do not know, what his physical status is, but if he can stay healthy, he's a nice rotation big to have. He can shoot the ball, smart player, defense, only played 24 games last. I mean, he might be a good rehab.
He was out for a season. Yeah, maybe take a vet min. Maybe you can get him.
Yeah. I mean, he's like, you're never none of these guys are Otto Porter, but he has a chance to be a guy that you get on a vet minimum. It's like, oh yeah, he's way better than that. He's healthy finally, So, yeah, those are options. I mean, they're not great options, to be honest with you. Like, it's everyone's looking for the guy he's describing. Everyone wants a 3-point shooting big man who can anchor a defense. Like, there are not that many out there.
Yeah, and it sounds like, I don't know, you would know way more than me, and it sounds like Brook Lopez is probably is going to want more than taxpayer mid-level, which is, I'd assume, my assumption.
It sounds like he's going to get it, is more than, like, I don't know, maybe he's just like, I don't care about the money, but if he cares about the money, someone's going to give him more than that for sure. Like, there's
the taxpayer mid-level. Yeah, right.
That's what it sounds like.
Got it. Yeah. Which
all
takes the Warriors out of the running.
Yeah, no. He'd have to decide he wants to be a Warrior and he's okay leaving $10 million on the table, maybe he went to Stanford, but like, I'm not counting on it, I guess is what I'm saying. All right. Cat and Bird with the question: convince me that the best version of Moody as a 3-and-D wing, obviously in the future, and maybe for another team, isn't the most conducive player to winning out of all our prospects. Similar to the stretch 5, the KCP Danny Green archetype is more difficult to find than all-stars. You want me to go first?
Yeah, question is kind of confusing, but yeah, go. It's kind of weird.
I mean, this is, I think, why everyone was high on Moses Moody. There was he's a plug-and-play 3-and-D wing in theory. He knows who he is as a player. He's not trying to dribble the ball all over the place. He's willing to get dirty on defense. Like, yeah, it's part of the reason Warrior fans root for him. Like, it's very obvious to see how he could be this player. And he has a great, low maintenance personality to be that player, but it just hasn't come together yet for him. I will say he just turned 23, in the offseason, by the way, just turned 23 this month. So would it surprise me if in a year or so he turned into a Danny Green type and was just like one of those players who, maybe he's only averaging 10, 11 points, but like is a key piece to a winning team? And no, it wouldn't surprise me at all. It would not surprise me at all if he ended up creating this journey in the NBA as like one of those tried and true 3-and-D wing types.
Yeah. I was just saying, Sad. The question confused me because I think she means is the most conducive player to winning, not isn't. Because I think she's trying to say that this archetype.
Oh, I skipped over that.
Anyway, yeah, no, that's me. I hung up on these things. I think so. Moses Moody argument is similar to the Podz argument, brother. Because guess what happened to Moses Moody after the season? Guess what happened? Surgery. Right? Like he had an injured right hand thing, and it's like, well, no shit, no wonder no wonder you freaking can't shoot. You had surgery on your right hand. Like, makes sense.
Dude, he hit the side of the back. When he hit the side of a backboard, I'm like, oh, what's going on? So at least when I heard he got hand surgery, I'm like, okay, at least there's a rational explanation.
The hell was with the Warriors and the hand stuff last season? Steph and then Podz had the left hand wrap, and then Moody with the right hand. Like, I don't know what is going on. Okay, so and before that, you remember he was shooting well. He had that big shot in Houston, and then just kind of suddenly fell apart. Okay, I'm just gonna assume that he got re-aggravated somewhere. And again, I think you mentioned it. He's super young. I hope he doesn't get traded. I think his salary is like kind of a good salary to add in as a filler. He's got enough potential. I think teams probably view him positively. So if they make a big trade, like I can see Moody being part of that. But if they keep him, I think it'd be huge. KCP and Danny Green, like I think those are two like pretty above average to elite defenders. I don't view Moody that way. I don't think he's quick enough. I don't think he's like as like super tuned in smart as those guys. But maybe being a vet, maybe playing in the NBA for 4 or 5 years, maybe that stuff changes, right? Like, because defense does rely a lot on IQ. So,
I will say this: KCP's quick twitch as hell, and that's always been his thing. Danny Green didn't really figure it out in the NBA till he's 26 or 27, and I don't think he's the best athlete. He just understood how to use his body. So that's 3 or 4 years older than Moses Moody. Like, I think that the real thing that sucks for the Warriors here is like they drafted him at 18, and he's looking like he's going to be one of those guys who, like a Caruso, different skill set by the way, like a Danny Green, where age 26 to 32, he's just going to be on winning teams because he knows how to do the role, you know.
100%.
But we got to watch the first 300 games of him figuring it out. Hey, thanks, Joe. Thanks, brother.
Hey, fuck, that's fun. Aaron Nesmith, I think, is like a good comparison because the Celtics gave up on. I don't know if gave up, but like they're just kind of like we just can't.
They didn't have the space. They didn't have the space for him. He never played. I thought he was probably not that good because of that. You know.
Me too. And then all of a sudden he just figures it out, and I think Moody's further along because he's played, but Nesmith is also like knocked down though. Like Moody isn't knocked down the same way he is, and I think KCP and Danny Green like ended up being really good 3-point shooters, and Moody's not yet. Moody's a good 3-point shooter, but not yet. Yeah.
Aaron Nesmith is 25. He's 3 years older than Moody, and he's in year 6. So it's like the classic
3 more years, baby.
It's not that the skill set changed. It's just that, you know, he caught up to the NBA speed and can now apply it at the level he needs to. You know, he could have stayed in college and probably gunned away. But anyway, you know, whatever.
I'm crying, laughing. We saw the first 300 games. That's fucking hilarious.
All right. Our guy TC asks, is all this talk that JK might come back just posturing to gin up an actual trade market for him? It's so clear that JK's agenda of playing his way is getting in the way of actually trying to win games. Okay, we haven't talked about this, Andy. The increasing narrative is he's probably back next year. And again, it's like media people connecting dots. It's not like a definitive thing. It's just that there's this increasing sense he's going to be back. They don't think there's a team that's going to do an offer sheet, blah, blah, blah. Right. Do you think that's actually the way this is trending? Or do you think it's posturing?
I need to hear it from you. I don't know myself. I can tell you what I wish for, but I need to hear it from your mouth, Sam, from the horse's mouth.
I think it's both, to be honest with you. I think there's an element of the Warriors trying to hold leverage because it's a little complicated with the sign and trade, right? Like you have to let people know you want to keep them so they come to you to do business instead of just try to offer sheet him, right?
All right.
But I also think there's a sense of, I think they'll bring him back rather than let him walk for nothing. So I think it's both things, to be honest with you. I think whether you agree with it or not, Joey would rather run this back for another 40 games, 100 games, 400 games until he gets the value he wants. I mean,
games. Okay. So
I do not think the only thing I think is bullshit is when they're talking about how they think he's the future face of the franchise. Like, I think you guys would be fine trading him. You just want to get something you deem worth it.
Yeah. I think the only change, I thought about this probably too much. The only change that I think, because I actually think, I believe the reports. Like, hey, man, if y'all tell me that y'all going to keep him, I believe it because that's what the fucking Warriors do. They've wasted everyone's time with Kuminga for 4 years now. Don't do it for another fucking 4. Don't do it. I think the only change that'll matter is if Steph and Jimmy, and maybe not Jimmy. Jimmy might not really care. He got his money. I think Steph and Draymond are going to have to really have a conversation and say, hey, we can't do this. We can't go into next season and play this Kuminga bullshit for 40 games before the trade deadline. It's a waste of everyone's time. And I think Dunleavy's down to do it. I think Lakeup's down to do it because they want value, like you just said. I think the only difference is if the players don't want to do it, then thank God we live in the NBA where the players make big decisions instead of the NFL. They're probably going to have to do it. That's the only saving grace, I think.
I do agree with you in this sense. I feel like the season is doomed if day one of camp, it's not all 15 guys swimming towards one goal.
Yep.
You know, like if the goal is we're going to try to build a team, but also showcase JK so we can do better at the trade deadline, then you're serving 2 goals and you're not going to win anything serving 2 goals. You know, like I think if they traded for Jimmy Butler in the offseason, I think they don't end up in the play-in. They end up in a better position, multiple things. Like you can say you can do stuff at the trade deadline, and multiple years in a row, we've seen teams get lightning in a bottle at the trade deadline. But you know what none of them have done? Win a title. Why?
They got lightning in a bottle, Sam. They got lightning in a bottle.
They did, honestly.
And they lost.
I believe in my bones they would have beat Minnesota if Steph didn't get hurt. They might have lost to OKC after that, but like they would have been another one of those lightning in a bottle to the conference finals teams. But that's the point. You can lightning in a bottle a mini run. To win a title, you kind of need a cohesiveness from day one so you can manage the season so everyone's healthy at the right time.
Yes.
So
yes, exactly. That's it's not even like a vibes thing, although I think I'm making it a vibes thing. It's just like Steph is gonna play 63 games next season, probably. Jimmy's probably gonna play less. And so, yeah, maybe they don't win 55 games, but they are a 55-win team if those guys are healthy. How do you get those guys healthy, though, by the end of the season? Because they lost because Steph pulled a hammy. You know why you pull hammies? I pulled a hammy. You pull hammy because...
exhaustion.
Yeah.
You know, I wonder if Steph pulls a hammy if he was wearing Skims, though. The Skims boxer briefs are just, they make me feel like it's just so good. The hammy's always warm, the right amount of compression. I'm ready to do my thing the entire way through. It's, I just can't speak highly enough of them. The best pair of underwear I have ever owned in my life. You know, Andy, you know what I'm talking about? Where it's like that perfect blend of support but flexibility. That's Skims, guys. I'm gonna show you that's Skims. The cotton 5-inch briefs, those are my go-to. Wearing them right now. Should I show it? No, I'm not going to.
I'm going to get up right now.
Guys, shop Skims Men's at skims.com and Skims stores. Let them know we sent you. After you place your order, make sure to select podcast in the survey and then select down on our show. You'll see light years in the drop-down menu. So podcast, drop-down menu, light years, Skims, get it done.
Light Years podcast. We are brought to you by Via. I don't know if Steph pulls a hammy if he's on Via either. I'm gonna tell you right now. Really relax the muscles. Really gets you all comfortable. sleep good, don't have to really get tense. I use it every night. If you haven't tried it yet, you're missing out. Whether you need to unwind, refocus, or just pretend to have your life together, Via is here to enhance your everyday and night. Trusted by over 500,000 happy members and customers, Via is changing the game in natural wellness. They've got powerful, high-quality hemp-derived products to deliver real benefits. Whether you're looking to sleep better at night, better libido, improve focus, recover, or simply relax, Via has a tailored solution just for you. Best part, they legally ship across the U.S. Discreet, direct to your door, no medical card required, and backed by a worry-free guarantee. If you're not sure where to start, they've got a product finder quiz. You can get personalized recs tailored to really what you want. It takes like 30 seconds to complete. If you're 21 plus, check out the link to Via in our description. Use the code LIGHTYEARS, as always, LIGHTYEARS, to receive 15% off and free shipping on orders over $100. And if you're new to Via, get a free gift of your choice. After you purchase, they ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show. Tell them we sent you. It's the code LIGHTYEARS. Enhance your everyday with Via.
All right, we got a question from Pimpin. Given what Anthony Slater said about his value across the league is now the time to sell high on Podz as someone who could get a real piece back? I mean, Warriors selling high is just antithetical. If he plays well, he's untouchable. And then if he's playing poorly, I can't move him. Value's too low. Can't do either one, you know. This one's interesting to me, and I like Podz. The multiple surgeries this offseason because of how hard he plays does worry me a little bit. And if he can really be the catalyst of getting a Trey Murphy,
I was just going to ask that.
I think I'd do it. I think I'd do it. I think I'd do it, brother. I don't think they want him, but I think it's worth exploring because it's something they should have done with Moses Moody and Kuminga and Wiseman in the past. And this guy's been better than all three of those guys have been in their first 2 years. Like, let's be real. Podz has been better his first 2 years than any of those guys were for the Warriors in their first 2 years. But I think it's worth looking at it just once. If you can get like a 27-year-old guy, 25-year-old who can just help you in your closing five, like, yeah, he's probably going to have a really nice NBA career. He's a good player. He's probably going to continue to get better. But you might be able to sell him for more than he's worth right now than, you know, the opposite of what you're dealing with like a Kuminga and a Moody.
I think the Kuminga one is the story. It's like, I don't think his value was ever that high, to be honest with you, but teams liked him. There were teams out there that liked him, and you probably should have sold him before now. Nobody wants to pay him and then trade for him. Nobody wants to do that. Podz, I am with you. I hate that you brought up Trey Murphy because I was going to ask you that. I was going to ask you, would you trade him for Trey Murphy as part of a Trey Murphy deal? I agree with you. I would probably do it too, but because I just don't think that there's a deal out there where Podz is going to be a part of where you're getting a player that's like I think last season was probably the one. And again, how many pods did we do about Lowry Markkanen? Like, if it was an opportunity for them to put Podz in to get Lowry, and I think we talked about it being maybe not really the case, but like, maybe you should have done that. Maybe that was the move. I don't know if this season there's a Lowry Markkanen type player. Like, Lowry's better than Naz Reid. I wouldn't do Podz like in a deal, right? Like where you're fitting in to get Naz Reid. Like, I wouldn't do that. I'd rather just keep Podz. I think he's got a lot more potential in him than to trade him for like a Naz Reid. But like last offseason, like, I think there's an argument maybe that you put him in a deal to get Lowry that maybe pushes that deal over the finish line. Or what was it, Paul George, maybe, to push that deal over the finish line. Is there a guy this offseason like that where you can put Podz in to push a deal over the finish line? What
about maybe Jaren? I'm trying to think of guys who are not making a ton of money, but are probably going to get a big extension in a year or two. So like Jaren Jackson Jr. I don't even know if they want to move him, but would you include Podz for JJJ?
Like, you're sending Draymond back in that deal to as a contract thing?
No. It's probably Moody, Buddy, and Podz to make it work.
I'm doing that in a second. I'm doing that. Wouldn't you?
I think so.
Yeah.
For a guy like Jaren Jackson, I mean,
Absolutely.
Because he's already been an all-star. He's kind of a borderline all-star, to be honest with you. But Podz probably will peak out at below that anyway. So, and yeah, I mean, like, dude, we were just talking about it. They're not a lot of dudes who can protect the rim and hit threes. Jaren is one of like 8 in the NBA who does both things.
Yeah.
And he's not even a perfect defender, although somehow you want a defensive player of the year. I mean, he's a good defender, but he fouls way too much, you know?
Also loves to shoot threes, so shoot away because
he's good at them. Yeah. He's good at them, bro. You know?
Yeah.
I like Jaren Jackson. He's
Michigan State guy, so Draymond will love him. I that would be a perfect fit. I mean, you just threw that name out there. You've thrown it out there before. Like I think that would be.
I'm trying to speak it into existence. I don't actually think that there's any chance at all. I guess the only way it would happen is if the Grizzlies are like, we want to trade Ja and Jaren because we're going nowhere, and they're going to want like $100 million to go nowhere. So maybe I don't know.
You want Kuminga with that? Take that off here. You take him. Yeah, the more I think about Podz this offseason, when I was thinking about this pocket, like he's the one guy I think that they have where he can be a long-term starter / like fringy-ish
in your top
player.
7, 8. Yeah.
Like I think that's the guy. Which I think says a lot about their second timeline, to be honest, because he was drafted 19th. And he's your guy with the most potential versus 3 other guys that were drafted in the lottery. But he's not untradeable, Sam. I just don't think there's a trade out there that they can get to put him in. I don't think so.
Gonna run it back, brother.
Don't say that.
What is Draymond's trade value?
A lot higher for the Warriors than I think it is for any other team. I feel like
he did finish second in Defensive Player of the Year. Like he's not. I think there are teams that like him, and he doesn't make that much money.
Yeah, he signed. It always feels like he doesn't make that much money. Like Draymond has never made. Tell me if I'm wrong. Over $30 million a year in his career. Like
he's been in the mid 20s. I mean, just very appropriately compensated.
Yeah,
it's kind of funny for a guy who's like kind of like out there as he is, like pretty like realistic view of self, not like out there like being like, I've won 4 titles, I deserve 35 a year, you can't win without me. It's just like, give me Jaren Jackson money, I'm good.
It might be a market thing though with him, where it's like I just don't know who out there is paying. And it's like if Detroit wants to pay him a lot, it's like, does Draymond want to play in Detroit? Draymond knows, like, playing with Steph, man, life is great. Like he doesn't have to do shit on offense. I mean, set some screens and then just own everything on defense. It's awesome. Like he lives, and if he punches someone, it don't matter. He don't even get suspended. It's a great life for Draymond. He would, if I feel like if he's sitting in that meeting room, Sam, and somebody pops in, Kirk pops in and it's like, well, how about Dre? I bet he's immediately going and sabotaging. He is like, you know what I mean? He's punching someone out. You're not trading me. You're not trading. Like he's not going anywhere. No shot. 0%.
I do know that 2 years ago when he tested free agency and ultimately came back, the teams that were interested in him were Memphis and Dallas. Memphis at the time was an up-and-coming team. Obviously, they had Dylan Brooks, and that was like the immaturity there. They were looking for someone who could take them to the next level and be a vet leader while also providing on-court value. You could see how Draymond is the upgrade to Dylan Brooks that they wanted, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Dallas had Kyrie and Luka. You could see how they view. I mean, Luka and Draymond's not. It's kind of gross, but like you could see how that as a concept is a very good fit. So I would think a team that would want Draymond is a team who is a playoff team who thinks if we get this guy to anchor our defense and kind of play smart offense, be a good passer, kind of be that veteran who's on the court. He takes us to the next level. That's the type of team. It might be Detroit, brother. It really might be Detroit because they had a nice thing with Cade. They had a nice thing with where they are. It could be them. It could also be.
How about the Hawks, Atlanta?
Maybe. I don't know if they're. I don't know if they're trying to go for it or they're trying to be a little more like strategic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I don't think the Spurs want to do it, but like put him next to Wemby and De'Aaron Fox. It's not bad. It's not a bad fit. Not a bad little fit for him.
If it's Detroit, what are you getting back is the question. Like,
and that's why none of this will happen because the teams that like him don't have anything you want because they want him to connect everything. They don't want to give stuff up. You're not getting. Do you want Detroit 2027 first round pick? Why? Tobias Harris and 2 firsts. Nah, I'm good.
That's not a bad deal. They could use those 2 firsts, flip them. I mean, that's your thing. I mean, use those 2 firsts.
Yeah, flick up to get Draymond back. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. If you could, if I told you that,
I mean, something like that would make sense if Steph was cooked and they're like, all right, let's just try to build for the future. But
Tobias, and I don't even know why Detroit would do that. Tobias had a decent season. If Draymond had the same year next season that he did this season, I think we'd be pretty happy. I thought he was really good this season. Way better than he was, right?
He should have. I'm not mad I'm mad he only has 1 defensive player of the year. I'm not necessarily mad he didn't win it last year, but I think he was worthy. He absolutely deserved to be in consideration for DPOY last year. So, you could say the shooting and the offense. End of the day, he was still top 3 finalist for defensive player of the year. That alone lets you know he's good.
Well,
still good. Still very good.
He's still awesome. The problem with him is the same with Steph and Jimmy. It's like because he's 35, right? It's like
that's why the stretch. That's why the stretch 5 has to be the offseason priority. It's like you need someone who can make Draymond work at the 4 on offense, so he doesn't kill himself playing the 5 on defense.
The problem with getting a stiff big, if you can't get a stretch 5, because those are so hard, is it's hard to play a stiff big next to Draymond and Jimmy. You can do it with just Draymond, but if you get think what's a stiff big? Like let's say Goga Patat. Warriors Twitter loves this guy. The Orlando Magic of a lot of bigs.
Warriors Twitter likes him a little too much. I can tell none of you fuckers have watched him. You saw they had a positive like real plus minus and he had a cheap contract. You're like, I found the one.
Goga Patat. Hopefully I'm not butchering his name, but like it's like if they get him, I would love it. I would say I would love it. I would be on the moon, like over the moon. But like the issue is like you can't play him. I mean, you can, but it's just hard to play Draymond next to him and Jimmy Butler. So, but can we agree on this? Can we just get someone to play next to Draymond so I don't have to watch Draymond at the 5, to start a game for 50
to be honest
into the season?
To be honest, if they got that stiff big or like even a Steven Adams, I would say just bring Draymond off the bench. Let him in his Andre Iguodala phase. We know he's starting at 5 when it matters anyway. He doesn't need to start. He does not need to start at 5 on Valentine's Day. He does not need to start at the 5 in mid-January. That's what I'm trying to solve. I think we're aligned on that one.
I forgot that Draymond came off the bench for Kuminga. Do you remember that? Do you remember? I think it was like
that was like 4 season chapters ago. It was it was like every time he wanted it, he said Kuminga needs to show that he could be the man. Kuminga played well for 2 games. Then he stopped paying attention to any details. Then they lost a few games, and then Steve's like, "Enough, dude." All he has to do is pay attention on defense, and he'll stay on the floor 35 minutes. That's it. That's all they're asking of Kuminga.
Soon he won't have to pay any attention on defense. He will be in Atlanta or something. He won't have to pay a single lick. We got another one. I thought we were done. No,
this is a fun one from Karma Police. Why does it feel like Tommy and Andy foul a lot when they play basketball, and Sam has old man post game and prides himself on rebounding? Just the vibe I'm getting, to be honest.
You didn't do this question with Tommy yet, right?
No, I didn't. I actually meant to do it with him and then with you, just to get different opinions, but I forgot last night.
I foul a lot. That's my thing. I had to play a lot of undersized center growing up, especially in high school. So I'm 6 feet, and in high school I think I was like 5'10", 5'11", just not it's kind of the same. Everyone I guard would be like a 6'4" guy.
Yeah, you Lou Dort out there. I've seen him.
There is only one way to play when you're 4 or 5 inches shorter than other guys. You know what I mean? So yes, Lou Dort or Zaza. Zaza's tall, so maybe a shorter Zaza. Like is perfect. I used to like have like a post game, like a little post game, but like as I got older, like I just shoot threes now. Now before you do yours, like.
Oh, you became a stretch 5 too?
Nowadays, not much stretching though. Like I'm shooting like 32% from 3, if you call that. It's like Wendell Carter. Like, can he shoot? He shoots. I don't know if it's going in though.
Slow release.
I have a really slow release. I get hot, but I have really slow. I foul a lot. I'm good at not getting called for it, Sam. I'll tell you that. So
I do not have an old man post game. I appreciate the sentiment there, but I'm not going anywhere near the paint, brother. Nowhere near the paint. I'm 3-point line to 3-point line, and I'm not saying that because it goes in. I'm just saying you turn a certain age, any step into the paint is a 50% proposition. I'm going to the doctor right afterwards.
And you're taller than me. You're a lot taller than me. And nope, we're not getting in the 3-point line. No shot, buddy.
No, the thing I'm trying to do is rip along, rebound, and run. That's it. So it bounces out, try to grab it. I try to do the pods, rip a rebound there and push, show some value that way. I don't want to be setting screens. I don't want to be boxing out under the rim. I don't want to be doing none of that. There's zero. I'm not coming home from playing pickup on a Saturday morning being like, I got to go to the doctor and I can't play with my son. It's not happening. Not happening at all.
That's literally what happened. I literally pulled a hammy because I was playing pickup. Hey, Tommy's the most. I think Tommy played JUCO.
He did. No, Tommy played college ball.
Like he's actually. I mean, I got played
D3. I
believe,
like
he's
still
skilled.
counts.
D3's skill, man. Like that to me, like my level,
he can really shoot.
Yeah, so he's an actual hooper.
I shoot the ball. He can actually shoot. There's two differences. Let's just be clear. Let's be clear on that one.
I wish Tommy.
It goes in. On this one. It goes in when he shoots it. I just put it up because I can.
Well, because like, and for all like people, like the difference between it's always funny because when I was I played high school and then I go to my college, which was at the time UCSD was not D1. It is now, but like I would play intramural teams. They were club teams. And I would be able to play with the club team guys. I feel pretty good about myself, but those are club team guys. Then there's D3, right. Which is Tommy's level. But Tommy's probably as good as those guys. And then there's D2, which if you see a D2 guy, you're like, holy shit. Then there's D1, right? You see a D1 guy playing, you're like, it's like it's like different species out there. I've played against D1 guys. And
different size and speed, man. Different size and skill level. Although I will say, like shooting it on D3, like guys can shoot it. They just happen to be 5'10" instead of 6'4". That's the problem.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You can, and there's not much you can do about that. So
there's no worse feeling than when you get on the court and you're playing against someone that's like 2 levels up, and then you're just like they just go right by you, and you gotta imagine.
That's why I start fouling.
Yep, that's me, baby. Start hacking. They can't call every foul. That's what Caruso and Dort do. You can't call every foul. I'll tell you that right now.
I just put 2 and 2 together. Why you have a soft spot for the Thunder? It's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and 4 guys who play like Andy Liu. Maybe three. Chet not so much, but like Jalen, Caruso, Dort. They're all kind of because like what people don't know about you is like you're kind of a wider. You're not.
Yes,
wider is going to sound wrong, but like you're kind of built like a football player. So. Yeah. So you can definitely like hack people and push them around with your legs more so than a normal 6-foot guy.
That's what I'm saying. This is why I love Draymond. This is why I love Draymond because I see half the shit he does and like I get it, dude. He's 6'5". I don't have the wingspan. Like I wish I had a 6'5" wingspan. Draymond has a 7'2" wingspan, right? And it's like I just see the shit he does. Like he's got his knees up in people's like back. He's got his arms under people. I'm just watching the shit he does. I'm like, this guy's a fucking genius. Yeah, hey, some people say it's dirty. I say it's smart, baby. I say it's smart. Lou Dort is disgusting, Sam. He is disgusting to watch. That guy, the way that he jumps at balls Like when people like he just
Dude, the way they roll it,
You
the way
don't
they
do that.
roll into play, the way they roll into players, it's dive where you put your body between the other guy's legs and the ball. Like, come on,
insane.
man.
You're a
That's how
football
you-
player. You're a football player. Like that's insane. Come on, that's bullshit. Like
They playing football out there. That's a football player move. But Lou Dort is the he's much more like I get it. I get why Draymond has the reputation he has, but he doesn't do dirty stuff like that.
No,
He might just punch someone in the face.
Yeah,
but that's more asshole than dirty.
That's our guy, baby. That's the depoy. That's our guy.
All right. Appreciate everyone.